everybody, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you a sustainable way to dye your hair. So in today's video, I'm going to dye my husband's hair actually. He has pretty dark hair, so I thought this would be an interesting experiment, and he's working from home right now and thought it would be fun to try something different as well. So that's what we're gonna do today. And then throughout the video, I will talk about how I'm doing it, but also different ways that you can do it and what I might do differently as well. So stay tuned. Okay, so there are a few different ways that you can make your turmeric concoction, but I chose the one that was simplest for me, as well as the one that I thought would work best for my husband's hair or shorter hair, which is just using some liquid conditioner, and then I used a tablespoon of turmeric and just mixed it all up. As you can see, I just used a little travel size of the conditioner because I use conditioning bars now, but you can use whatever you wish. So before we get started with the dye, we thought we'd give him a nice trim and what I'd like to call my quarantine cuts, so we can make sure that we get as much dye coverage as possible. As you can see, my husband has pretty dark hair. I'd say on the color spectrum, if you're going from brown to black, that he is probably right on that last cusp there. Alright, so in goes the dye here. One thing that I wish I would have done is wet his hair a little bit before I started this process. I did throughout the video go get some water and put a little bit more in his hair so that it molded a little bit better. But just one thing to note if you're going to try this on yourself. One thing I do want to mention is that when I looked up videos to try to prepare for this one, I saw that many of the videos were done on longer hair and just done on the tips of the hair. So the reason that I did it this way was because I thought it would stick in his hair a little bit better with the conditioner. Some of the other videos, they would boil turmeric on the stove in water first and then just soak your hair. Obviously with shorter hair, there's no real way to pin it up after soaking it, so I just thought this would stick in his hair the best way. Obviously, the lighter that your hair is, the better that this will take on your hair. So just keep that in mind, that if you do have lighter hair, that you might have a different outcome than this. And as you can see, I didn't really worry too much about getting the bottom half of his head very dyed, just because I knew that it would be pretty faint when we got done anyway, so I didn't think that it would make much of a difference. But now that I have it all kind of dispersed throughout his hair, I'm just massaging it in, making sure that it's all covered. I also want to mention that I definitely did not lead by example because I'm wearing white, but when you're doing this process, you want to make sure that the person dyeing your hair and whoever is getting their hair dyed is both in dark colors or in clothes that you don't care about. Here's me putting some extra water in, like I mentioned earlier. And obviously this is sped up a little bit, but I just wanted to mention I probably spent about 15 minutes or so just massaging this all into the hair and making sure that every spot was covered here. Now, in all the research that I did, it said to make sure that you keep the dye in for at least an hour. He decided to go mow the lawn, so it took about an hour and a half, and then that's when it was washed out. However, the longer you keep it in will probably result in a better outcome. Now I'm just going in to make sure that his forehead and other parts of his body aren't also dyed yellow, and getting that off of his skin right away. Here's a closer look after it was all massaged in and is starting to set. And an hour and a half later, when it's all getting rinsed out, so that we can see the final product. Now you can't really tell in the shade, but once the light turns on it, you can definitely tell that it's a little bit brighter here. So not a major outcome, but it was still a fun experiment. Thanks so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.